begin working with the creation process, you might want to start by attracting something unusual. When you specifically attract something unusual, you will be left in no doubt about your power when you receive it. One young woman began choosing to attract a specific flower, a white lily. She imagined holding the flower in her hand, smelling the flower, and she felt having that flower. 2 weeks later, she went to a friend's house for dinner, and there in the centerpiece of the table was a bouquet of white lilies, the very flower and color she had imagined. She was excited to see the lilies, but she didn't say anything to her friend about it. As she was walking out the door at the end of the evening, her friend's daughter spontaneously plucked one white lily from the vase and put it in her hand. Remember, the law of attraction says whatever you give, you receive. If you think of the law of attraction as a mirror, an echo, a boomerang, or a copying machine, it will help make you clearer on what to imagine and feel. The law of attraction is like a mirror because a mirror reflects back exactly what's in front of it. The law of attraction is like an echo because whatever you give out is exactly the echo that comes back. The law of attraction is like a boomerang because whatever boomerang you throw is the exact boomerang that comes back to you. The law of attraction is like a copying machine because whatever you give is reproduced exactly and you will receive back an exact copy. Listen to this story. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorites in this book. A few years ago, I was in Paris for my work, and I was walking down the street when a woman rushed past me wearing one of the most beautiful skirts I had seen. My reaction was love. What a beautiful skirt. A few weeks later, I was happily driving to work in Melbourne, Australia, when I was forced to stop because another driver was trying to do an illegal U-turn at an intersection. As I looked at a store window where I had been forced to stop, I saw the same exact skirt I had seen on that woman in the streets of Paris. I could not believe my eyes. When I got to work, I called the store, and they told me they had received only one skirt from Europe in that style, and it was the skirt in the window. Of course, the skirt was my size. When I went to the store to purchase the skirt, it was reduced to half price, and the store attendant told me they had not ordered the skirt and that it had just appeared in their order accidentally. So it just came out from Europe accidentally. They didn't order the skirt, the same skirt she had seen on that woman. The only thing I had done to bring that skirt to me was love it, and from Paris to a suburban street in Australia, through circumstances and events, the exact same skirt was delivered to me. That is the magnetic power of love. That is love's law of attraction in operation. What it says here. This world is but a canvas to our imagination. We can have whatever we want. When you imagine anything positive that you want and love, you are harnessing the force of love. When you imagine something positive, something good, and you feel love for it, whatever you're imagining must not harm another person. Imagining something that brings harm to another person comes not from love, but from lack of love. And with certainty, any negativity, even imagined, will turn back with an equal amount of negativity to the person who sent it. Whatever you give, you receive. But I want to tell you something fantastic about the force of love and your imagination. The highest and best thing you think is possible is nothing compared to the force of love. It's nothing compared to what the force of love can give you. Love has no limits. If you want to be full of vitality and happiness, with an incredible zest for life, the force of love can give you health and happiness at levels far beyond what you have seen. I am telling you this so that you can stop putting limits on your life. Push your imagination to the limits and imagine the best and highest that you possibly can of whatever it is you want. The difference between someone who is struggling and someone who has a fabulous life comes down to one thing: love. Those who have a great those who have a great life, imagine what they love. And want. So those who have a great life, imagine what they want and what they love, and they feel the love of what they're imagining more than any other person. People who are struggling are unintentionally using their imagination for what they don't love and what they don't want, and are feeling the negativity of what they're imagining. It's such a simple thing, but it creates vast differences in people's lives, and you can see the difference everywhere you look. History has proven that those who dare to imagine the impossible are the ones who break all human limitations. In every level of human, whether science, medicine, sports, arts, technology, the names of people who imagined the impossible are engraved in our history. By breaking the limits of their imagination, they changed the world. Your entire life is what you have imagined it to be. Everything you have or don't have, every situation, every circumstance of your life is what you have imagined it to be. The problem is that many people imagine the worst. They're turning the most wonderful tool against themselves instead of imagining the best. Many people are in fear and imagine all the things that can go wrong. And as surely as they keep imagining and feeling those things, they happen. Whatever you give, you receive. Feel and imagine the best and the highest you can in every area of your life, because the best you can imagine is a piece of cake for the force of love. When my family had settled in the United States, we flew our 15-year-old dog with us, Gabby. We flew our 15-year-old dog, Gabby, with us. One night, not long after Gabby had arrived, he managed to get out of a small gap in the fence. Our home was backed into mountains, so it was far from an ideal situation. In the dark, we searched the streets and trails leading up to the mountains, but our dog was nowhere to be found, and my daughter and I were searching. As my daughter and I were searching, negative feelings of anguish began to increase, and I knew I had to stop searching and change the way we were feeling immediately. We returned home and pretended our dog was with us. We put food in his bowl as though he was there. We imagined hearing the bell around Gabby's neck. As he walked down the hallway. We talked to him and called out his name. My daughter went to bed imagining that her best friend of 15 years was sleeping next to her as he always did. Early the next morning, we discovered a notice on a tree at the foot of the mountains saying that someone had found a little dog. It was Gabby. We had just imagined our dog returned home safely. So as they had imagined, the dog came home safely. When they were feeling fear and anguish and sad and anger, they weren't getting anywhere. No matter what challenging situation you may find yourself in, imagine the best outcome and feel it. When you do, you'll change the circumstances and you will change the situation into what you want.